The new date just revealed for when the next stimulus package needs to be passed. Also, some shocking information on stimulus checks. I have all the details for you in this video. Let's get into it right away. But if you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to subscribe by hitting that button right down below the video. It's totally free to do so, and so I can keep you updated each and every day. Alright, thanks again. Let's jump right into the video. Alright, so first off, let me quickly walk you through some really shocking information that was just released by IRS and Treasury in regards to stimulus checks. Alright, so remember about a year ago, a $1,400 stimulus check was passed through Congress, signed into law by the president, and they started going out anywhere between about mid-March to early April time. Is when those $1,400 checks was going out. Well, at this point, we assume that they went to everybody, right? Well, no, in fact, they did not go to everybody. In fact, there are still hundreds of thousands of people, nearly millions of people that are still waiting for these payments, even a year later. Yeah, this is still true. Check this out. As of now, there's still 644,000 people that have not claimed their $1,400 stimulus checks from last year. So by the way, if you did not get your $1,400 from last year, I highly recommend you might want to look into that, because if you are eligible, you can still get that money. However, one quick disclaimer about that. This is the information right out of the IRS, which is if you did not get the money, you need to file a tax return in order to claim it. By the way, this is not accounting advice, and this is not a tax advice anyway at all, but rather that is what the IRS say. The only way to get it now is by filing a tax return. Also, at the same time, even with those 644,000 people that are still waiting for their payment, there's another 294,000 people that are still eligible for them as well, on top of the 644,000. For those people who maybe had a little bit of change to their situation, or maybe their accounting change, therefore which made them eligible for the payments going forward. So as you can see, there are about 1 million people still eligible for the payments. Now, all of that totals $1.6 billion of payments that still need to go out the door. However, here's what's interesting. Within the same report, they also said that 1.2 million people wrongly received the $1,400 stimulus check, which also totaled $1.9 billion. So on one hand, they have $1.6 billion when you got out the door, and they have $1.9 billion that went out the door, and they say, oops, it shouldn't have gone out the door. It always seems like there's more that they need to reclaim than there was there is to actually go out the door. Anyway, just an extra little report here that I found for you, and I thought it was very interesting that there's a lot of people out there still waiting for those payments. So again, if you haven't received that yet, please check it out, because you may have some money coming to you that you may not even recognize quite yet. And they're saying essentially with everything going on right now, the likelihood of some type of direct payment or stimulus checks is actually very highly likely. Yeah, that's what I've been reading with a lot of these reports out there right now in regards to all of these high-tented prices out there on gas, and essentially everything we all know where we're talking about is literally everything is more expensive these days. But what I've been reading about this, and again, this is just what the people are saying out there. But at the same time, we won't actually have any proof of anything until we get a substantial proposal out of Congress, and they start working their way through the legislative process, and of course working their way through these things to actually get it passed. But as of right now, there's about 7 or 8 different proposals on the table within Congress right now to get some type of the relief out to the people. But anyway, with that being said, let me talk to you through the new timeline and the dates in which that have just laid out by Joe Manchin. Yes, one of the very influential senators on the Democratic side. He has just laid out some new dates in which the next stimulus package must be passed by, or I should we more likely say, in his vision, it needs to be passed by this timeline. Joe Manchin was out indicating that he is working with some of his Democratic colleagues on working on the stimulus package. Yes, so he was the one that actually apparently reached out to his Democrat colleagues and restart talks on the next stimulus package. Now I can tell you this much. It is going to be a much smaller bill than the $1.75 trillion bill that we were previously talking about, which was the Build Back Better agenda and the $2.2 trillion House version of the Build Better agenda. All that we know is it is going to be significantly less than the $1.75 or even $2.2 trillion package. However, Joe Manchin is apparently working with Democratic colleagues on restarting negotiation on this, and he has drawn a line in the sand that they need to get this package passed by the August recess. So as we all know, usually about the first week in August, usually they work about 1 week in August and then they leave for about 5 weeks through the rest of August, and then into early September, and then they usually return after Labor Day. So that's about 4 to 5 weeks that they are gone. So as we know, that is a very long summer recess. They're gone, and actually the last couple of years here, they've actually been extending it, and they've been working an extra week now. Should we take our hats off to them and feel like we should give them a pat on the back? Well, I don't really think so, because clearly they haven't gotten the work done before they leave. But anyway, Joe Manchin has essentially drawn a line in the sand and said, we need to get the next package passed by the August recess. Now again, like I said, I know that's a few months from now, but realistically, it's not that many months from now. We've got April, May, June, July, that's it. But seriously, they do not have much time, and we know that the legislative process takes a very long time, especially as they continue working their way through it. All the negotiations, the back and forth between the House and the Senate, and all the different opinions on these packages. Now, this is likely going to be the next reconciliation bill, which again could contain another stimulus check or any of these direct payments or anything else that we've been talking about throughout all these videos, as well as what I just described here just a minute ago, saying it's very encouraging to see all this going forward in regard to direct payment or stimulus checks, and people saying the high or that there's a high likelihood. So this next reconciliation bill is likely where something like this would be contained, or it could always be done through executive order if the president just so decided to do so. There's a lot going on right now in regards to talk on stimulus checks, packages, direct checks, tax rebates, tax credits, all kind of things like this. And I do think it is actually very encouraging. So anyway, as I do get more information on any of this, of course, I'll break it down into these short videos for you and to help you out in any way that I possibly can. So again, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so. Enjoy your day, stay safe out there, and I hope this one helps you out. I will catch you again later in the next video. Thanks again, I'll see you soon.